Hi, and welcome to one of our conversations. Or welcome back if it is you have listened before. And I'm happy that the old and newcomers have joined me. I have a exciting topic. I'm not sure if it'll be exciting for you, but it is exciting for me. But before it is I go into it, I would just like to remind you guys that this is a place of comfort, of relaxation, of no judgment, where we let out our thoughts and say all the things that needs to be said so that tomorrow when it is we wake up we feel a little bit lighter and we can probably have a little bit more of a productive day, right? This isn't self-coaching or I don't know how people put it, but I know that there's life coaches and so on, and I respect their hustle, but we aren't in for that. We just want to talk about the things that comes up in our everyday lives. So, on to the topic. I've found myself lately trying to keep my emotions in check, so that I wouldn't have to react irrationally or impulsively, or I wouldn't feel overwhelmed or quick to anger or quick to feel any sort of negative emotion. And so I decided to look for something that would help develop myself as a experiment, see how well I might be able to adjust it, or if it is I can even follow the guidelines and the activities that's offered. And so I have joined an anger management program. Now, for those who would have heard the term anger management and either felt nervous, scoffed at it, or even froze at the idea, let me tell you that it is nothing to feel ashamed of. It is nothing to feel iffy about or even anything to be ignored. Anger is one of the stronger emotions that we feel. And I'll say in this program, you don't only deal with anger, you deal with all your emotions. You learn to manage all of your emotions so far from what it is I've experienced. And as a human being, you have feelings. So learning to manage them is always a plus. Trust me, it benefits you now and in the long run. This is solely a decision you'll have to make for yourself, as it is I have done for mine. So in this course that I've experienced thus far, I want to introduce to you some things that, well, I'll say two specific things that stood out to me that I actually enjoyed and caught me off guard. So far, at least. I'm not done as yet. But the first one was about coping strategies, coping mechanisms. And I was asked, what coping strategies can you think of? And I had ideas in my head. I tried to find pretty words for it because you needed to put them down, but I couldn't find a way. I knew what they were, but I didn't know how to put them or if it was the right answer or not. For some reason, I immediately felt like if I was being tested. And I think if it is you ask the same question, you might feel the same way. But again, just remember, this is for you. So I decided to look up coping mechanisms, coping strategies, and see if it is I could have found myself or what I've done in the past in any of those said strategies. All right. And the first one that popped up to me was lowering your expectations. When lowering your expectations, it is not to go with the saying as in to expect disappointment because, you'll all be disappointed or no, nothing like that. It's about reasonably lowering your expectations, having an understanding that people are not you, that there's a difference. So with that difference, you may have a standard in how it is you deal with people and situations, and you would understand then that not everyone would think alike or react the same way or even hold the same set standards. So once it is you have accepted that, then you won't have, I won't say high expectations, but you won't have a need to feel disappointed because you've understood that I know what it is I would have done, but I have no expectations, or I don't have a high set of expectations for the other person because I don't know them and how they would react. All right. I was always given the advice from when I was younger that stuck with me. It resonated when I was told that you can only control yourself. Everything outside of yourself is out of your field of control. And so you can't fight it. You can't fight to control it. You can't fight to take hold of it. And I think as though lowering your expectation matches with that or leans into that. Another one that I saw, which took me, I will say it took a lot from me to start trying and doing, it is to ask others to help you or to assist you. For a while now, there are some things in my personal life that I have been dealing with, and it had the need or cause for me to accept help and ask for help. And I'll tell you for a fact that for the most of my adult living life, that was not me. I would have tried to do everything on my own. You would find yourself doing that sometimes, either out of a mixture of pride, of being afraid of being rejected when being asked for help. For asking for help, or afraid of being disappointed in some way. And I had all of those above said reasons. But thankfully, as I've accepted this idea, accepted this help, accepted the fact that I did need help, I've realized that I have a support system. And it's actually comforting now. It's a relief. It's almost like leaning back on a soft pillow. When you think of the fact that you have a support system, you have a circle of people that you can rely on. Some circles may just be 2 people. Some circles may be 1. Some circles may be 10 people. But just have a system where you can have these people to lean against, on, talk to, ask for help, any of the above. And they don't have to be family only, because I know some people think as so that this circle must be family. No. I'll one-up you on it and say that family isn't just those who are blood related to you, but who you decide or choose to make your family. So, blood and water runs deep. So the other, I'll say, it is to engage in problem solving. But this is with a but. Where I add in my but, it's where it depends on the circumstance and situation that you are in. If there's a situation that you cannot control, then there is no need to try to solve the problem. If it's a situation that is out of your hands and in someone else's hands, why frustrate yourself? If it's a responsibility or duty of someone else, then don't. You can try to assist where you can, but do not drain or drag yourself down. Because once it is you are drained or dragged down, you'll find yourself with the lack of control over your emotions and feelings. And then you go straight back to square one. The other coping mechanisms and strategies that I've seen, I'll say are more on the advanced level, where you have already engaged in activities of controlling and maintaining your emotions. And it goes with building and maintaining composure and all these different things. So I won't go into those as yet, because at least where I am at, I'm still at a point where I want to learn how to cope with my emotions before it is I move on to building relationships with people and growing composure and expressing myself properly and so on. I want to maintain the internal turmoil before it is I let that show outside or outwardly. All right. Well, I don't want to sound like a psychiatrist, and I don't think I am. Hopefully, okay? But just stick with me on this. I've spent about 10 minutes explaining to you the different types of coping mechanisms, and this is where I get to go into the fun part now. Right? Well, the fun part for me, which was when they asked me, apart from the coping strategies that you know of, what is a coping strategy or mechanism that you feel confident about or that you find safety in? And I sat down and thought about that for a while. And I was like, well, I do this and I know I do that. But then I had to ask myself, do these things really work? Does it really help calm me down? Does it give me peace? Does it make me feel safe? And in all of the mix up, jumble up, tied up, tangled up things that I was thinking, I did find one thing, a string that I pulled and realized that I find a strategy or a coping strategy in a sanctuary. Now, people think that a sanctuary, or I wouldn't say think, some people's sanctuary may be an actual person. It may be an actual place. It could be your favorite shop, whether if it's a restaurant, bar, ice cream shop, shoe shop, doesn't matter. Or the beach. But my own is actually in my mind. And I say that because apart from speaking to you guys and enjoy doing that, I am a designer. And I find myself getting lost in the designs that I make. And with that, I use my imagination and think about things that I have fun building and creating. So when it is they asked me that question, the follow-up question after that was, let's test your knowledge. What does your sanctuary look like? So I was put in a position to craft my own sanctuary at that point in time. So I closed my eyes and I started to think. And I want to share with you guys what came to my mind. And hopefully, if it is your sanctuaries in your mind as well, I will hope that's something you can share with me. And if your sanctuary is in an actual place, I'm also hoping for you to share that as well. All right, so I closed my eyes. And when I opened them in my mind, I was in a kitchen, in a big, beautiful kitchen. I love food and I love to cook. So it was no surprise to me that my subconscious would choose a kitchen. And in this big kitchen, it was bright. And I looked to my left and I saw these huge glass panel doors. There was natural light coming in. It was looking like if it was a bright, sunny day outside, but not too hot, but just bright. I walked to the door and slid the door open. And I stepped outside and I realized that I was barefooted in some soft grass. Not the prickly type, but soft, comforting, I can lie down in this grass and not move type of grass. And when I looked further out, I realized that I was in a backyard. So I stepped out into the grass, realized I was in a backyard, and that behind me stood my house, my home. I've never seen this place before in real life. But in my mind, it, I guess, built a home for me, something that I realized that I would really like to have for myself one day. Then looking to the other direction, looking outwards, I realized that there was a horizon in front of me. And on the horizon, where the two paths met, there was the green lush grass, and then there was the blue sky. But right in between, there was where the horizon met. There was this dark blue line. I couldn't tell what it was. But I walked further, and in my steps, the grass started to get patchy, and I felt sand in between my toes. Until there was no more grass, and I was just on soft, warm sand. And I found myself at a beach, which is a place that I love. Now I'm telling you all of this, and I didn't think of this before. I didn't build this mini world in my mind and then revisited it. This was my first time there, and my mind was just leading me into a place that I knew apparently that I would feel comfortable in. So I was at this beach, and straight ahead of me was the ocean. The water was dark blue at the far back, light blue closer up. The waves were gentle enough that when they crashed, it almost sounded refreshing. It wasn't rough. It looked like if it was the perfect type of waters to just take a comfortable and relaxing sea bath. And if it is, I looked to my right or to my left, the beach was so vast that it looked endless. It looked infinite, that there was nothing else but just this beach going lengths and lengths. And then I saw this umbrella stuck in the sand, and I walked up to it, and I realized there was a blanket, and I sat on that blanket, and I felt the breeze of the beach, and I realized that this is my sanctuary. I am not going to lie to you. I fell asleep in the middle of my activity doing this because I was so much at peace. And I am not this type of person. I kid you not. I am not. But it felt so real to me. I don't know if it's because I wanted it right now. I feel as though I really need that right now. But it was special. It is special to me that I can, as I'm recalling it to you, I am seeing this place in front of my eyes, and I wanted to be real. Wished this was real, that I can go to this place. I can go to my home. The point of all of this is that you need to find your sanctuary, and you need to find your coping strategies or mechanisms. Do what makes you feel safe. Do what makes you feel at peace when things are feeling crowded and overwhelming, or fast-paced and racing, regardless of what situation you're in, because you have to protect your mental health, right? And that is a very prickly topic, especially I'll say for Caribbean people, because I don't think as though that it's highlighted enough how important mental health is. But that's a topic for another day. I just wanted to share this with you so that if it is you didn't have any sort of coping techniques for a stressful day or a circumstance that has you so overwhelmed, you can try this. If it is you aren't afforded to visit an actual place, visit it in your mind. And if it is you don't know of a place, think of one. Think of one where it has everything that you want. Because mine was basically just food, the outdoors, the beach, and breeze. I am not hard to please. Okay? So This is my advice to you. And I really and truly, genuinely hope that this reaches at least one person where it is you can try this, see if it works for you. If this doesn't work for some of you guys, I'll be happy to help. I'll be happy to share when I see this because I am no psychiatrist. But if you are interested in this anger management program that I am doing, because again, as I say, it is very, very interesting, feel free to contact me and I will be happy to share the information with you on where it is you can go to sign up for it. It is at no cost at all. This is not even a paid ad. This is just me finding something that was free, available, and I like the information that's found in it. So, thank you so very much for joining me with this discussion. And I hope that something was grasped from this. I hope that with your thoughts, when it is you're alone, you think of some things that will make you feel better, especially in these very tense, very rushed, fast-paced, heavy, and I wouldn't say uncomfortable times, but there's something in the air. So thanks again. And I'll talk to you guys soon. And I'll definitely give you guys an update on my program if it is you guys would like to hear some more. Bye now.